We the people unite.
Hey everybody, welcome. Happy Wednesday night. How's everybody doing on this fine Wednesday?
The dream continues.
So we have August, Anitra, Maureen, Momo, Keisha, Katie, Andrea, and I'm Kim Page. So another week, not a lot going on, as they say. Everybody hanging in there?
I think so.
I'm making it.
Y'all shouldn't sound so excited.
It seems like there's a lot and nothing at the same time going on, if that's possible.
So when you say that, I envision the Mary Tyler Moore hat going on. Make it after all.
Make it after all. I'm old enough. Don't tell nobody.
Oh my God, does that tell everybody our age?
Yes, it
There's
does.
a certain woman that I've watched too much today. I actually feel very drained.
A lot of people have been saying they've been feeling drained all day because of that.
The worst person I have ever seen. I mean it.
That's why self-care
That's
is
so
so important. Yeah, self-care. So let's tonight our theme is the pressure is building. And is it in a good way? I don't know. We'll find out. So
Well, if there's a boil, it's going to pop.
In Washington, members of the House of Representatives are reviewing unredacted portions of the Epstein files inside secure DOJ facilities, documents that many Americans have been demanding to see for years. So at the same time, senators are weighing in, responding publicly, and introducing legislative efforts tied to transparency and accountability. This moment feels a little different. I mean, it's not just about sealed records or blocked out pages. It's about who has access to information, how much of it reaches the public, and whether institutions are prepared to withstand, sustain scrutiny. We have to keep the pressure on. So some House lawmakers say the documents raise serious questions about redactions and disclosure. In the Senate, discussions are unfolding around survivor rights, legal timelines, and oversight responsibilities. And then beyond Washington, kind of good news, we talked about it Friday, attention is growing internationally. So because this case was never confined to one state, let alone one country, one office, the network is global, the relationships were global, and so is the interest in how this is handled now. So when we say the pressure builds, we're talking about more than political theater. It's institutional pressure. It's public pressure. It's international pressure. So what do you say we get started? Yeah, this could be some good news. This could be, this could be that device that pops that big old pimple or that boil. This is more like a boil. Yeah.
Yeah, Prince Andrew shouldn't be the only one that answers for all of this.
Of course not.
He shouldn't be the only one.
So the first thing
believed it right away.
What's that, Andrea?
His mother believed it right away. That was unusual, wasn't it?
Mother knows best. Yes, mother knew. I'm sure. And I heard someone in Congress say when they came out, maybe we'll see some of this, that was it. Who are the ones that are, it was Massey and the other ones. So anyway, something to the effect that when this all comes out, this could bring down the monarchy in the UK. So that was an interesting statement.
Well, I'm hoping that I live to see it. I hope it doesn't take 20 years from now to this to all happen, because it's really affecting our country, and people are getting really depressed behind it. And then we watch him eat so well, and then take away SNAP benefits. I can't believe he's suing IRS for $10 billion.
It's another grift, right? This man is looting our government. Looting it. So let's talk about the international piece first. So these are just some of the countries. Let me zoom in just a little bit, who are doing their own investigations. If I can get my keyboard to. So we have Norway. Norway authorities have opened investigations into aggravated corruption involving former Prime Minister Thorbjørn Jagland and former Ambassador Mona Juul. Additionally, Norway's parliament set up an independent commission to investigate ties between the foreign ministry and Epstein. In Poland, the government has established a special task force to scan the files for potential Polish victims and to investigate potential links between Epstein and Russian secret services. Interesting. In France, prosecutors have launched a preliminary inquiry into former culture minister Jack Lang and a French diplomat, Fabrice Aden, who potential criminal activities, including laundering of tax fraud proceeds. UK, British police have opened further inquiries into Prince Andrew and former politician Peter Mandelson following the release. This release of information has caused that snowball to really start forming. Latvia, Lithuania, both nations have set up wide-ranging official investigations into the documents. Latvia is in particular investigating possible human trafficking involving its citizens. Slovakia, investigations have been initiated following the resignation of top official connected to the files. What I'm finding interesting is the list that I was going to talk about on Friday. This list has grown. Germany, Czech Republic, authorities are monitoring the situation with German politicians pushing for investigation and Czech police reviewing visits to their country. And I think we'll see more. Good news.
Well, I used to notice in Africa, they used to have whole classes of young ladies disappearing. And they were never to be found. And they said they was trafficking them. So, and never to be heard from again.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Africa is not on the list. No country in Africa is on the list.
We may see that.
And it may be intracontinental.
Yeah,
and United States not there.
But I do think that never mind. I'll come back to that because I forgot what I was going to say.
Wait,
let's show. Go ahead.
Why is it there's no African country on the list?
They didn't want Black girls on the island.
But
they're racist.
That's what they say. But the Black
not only are they pedophiles, the one Black woman that was there, she looked like she was mixed. So they may have,
unless they're models,
was Hispanic or whatever. But no, there was one email that came out that specifically said they did not want Black women on the island.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, thank
you.
Because they know we will tell it.
But yet they disappeared. So
because they know we will tell it. We will tell it all.
Well, the thing about it is the whole world is involved in all kinds of debaucheries like this. This is just one of them. And it's the one that's touching us the closest. So just because they're not on that island don't mean they ain't on somebody's estate, we'll say.
That's true.
It's going on worldwide.
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
Let's listen. Yeah, let's listen to a little bit of discussion about what's happening here.
And tonight, more fallout from recently released documents of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Resignations and apologies are coming in from high-profile people around the world after their ties to the convicted sex offender are being revealed. Here's DC Bureau reporter Ross Ketchke.
It's a tale of accountability. Tonight, growing global outrage as the latest batch of Jeffrey Epstein files show the international web of powerful people connected to the infamous sex trafficker.
Some of these people that were willing to look the other way about pedophilia.
The latest individuals caught in the scandal include the Secretary of Navy, John Phelan, who flew on Epstein's plane in 2006. A close friend says it was the only time Phelan ever met Epstein, and he did not know about any of his wrongdoing. Plus, multiple organizations are now cutting ties with famous American inventor Dean Kamen after documents show Epstein invited him to his infamous island in 2013. And Brad Karp, the chair of one of America's largest law firms, now stepping down after emails show he thanked Epstein for hosting a, quote, once-in-a-lifetime event in 2015. Even the Crown Princess of Norway is apologizing for her relationship and messages with a convicted sex offender.
I regret appointing him.
In the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer facing heat from his own party for appointing the now former ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, who's now under criminal investigation for his ties to Epstein.
If I knew then what I know now, he would never have been anywhere near government.
Later this month, former President and Secretary of State Bill and Hillary Clinton will testify on Capitol Hill for Congress's probe into Epstein. Both Clintons are now calling for the hearings to be made public, while House Democrats say they want to interview President Donald Trump, who's named in the files thousands of times.
Clearly, Donald Trump would be someone that we'd want to talk to.
You think?
Now, neither the Clintons nor President Trump have ever been implicated in any of Jeffrey Epstein's criminal activity. Meanwhile, tonight, the Department of Justice says none of the information in the millions of newly publicized files will lead to future criminal prosecutions.
But Ross, let's talk about the growing backlash from the Epstein survivors. Many have been identified in these documents. Their information was supposed to be redacted. What are you hearing?
Well, the Department of Justice has now had to take down large numbers of those files after they contained information like survivors' names, their contact information, even photographs. And some of those survivors who were identified had never spoken publicly about the abuse they suffered at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. And these survivors say they are angry, not just because they were identified, but in their view, some of the individuals who they claim co-conspired with Jeffrey Epstein to carry out that abuse have had their information protected. Louis?
Ross Ketchke in our nation's capital. Thank you. And tonight, more fallout from recently.
Stop. So they talked about that in the hearings, right? So the victims were out there in plain sight and the co-conspirators were all redacted.
I disagree with the idea that because he sent you an invitation that you should be somehow banned or something. If you didn't accept it, fine. But different things. I'll give people some credit. But what are you meeting with him for? Once in a lifetime. Why? Tell me what y'all met for. Because you just hanging out with him. He's not charismatic. He's not a fashion. I don't understand. So they need to explain why they were with him. But an invitation, I don't think that should warrant getting canceled.
And I was thinking what was on the list, what made him invite that particular person? That's what I would like to know too. What made you stick out that he invited you to the party?
Definitely.
You're muted, Katie.
Am I? Is this a
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry. Chapel Roan left her agent after they were on the Epstein files or something related to Epstein, and so did Dropkick Murphys. They made statements saying like, though we loved our agents, we're not going to associate with them.
I'm not familiar with either company.
It's the Wasserman Agency because Wasserman it owns the agency and he's named in the Epstein files.
Okay.
A few times. But musicians like that leaving their agents, that's not a small feat. And it's a like a known agency. It's a big deal.
Oh yeah, I know the agency now that you said it was connected with. Is it like Wasserman Schultz or something like that? And allegedly on I don't know, but anyway, that's disheartening. It goes deep.
Yeah. I think just like the defense attorney we talked about last Friday, I think it's going to be very, very hard when all of these really come out to really understand what happened and who was involved. But it needs to happen.
And to what extent? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's already been 20 years. Like I'm like Miss Andrea. Is it going to take another 20? We can't take 40 years.
I don't think it will.
No.
It looks like Abby Wambach just left them too, the soccer star.
Oh wow!
So there's a lot of fallout now.
That's a lot of money.
His partners
either his partners or the people just below him said, let us buy you out so we can stop the bleeding. Or I think they're threatening to leave.
You have to, because you got to separate yourself from the mayhem and the fallout.
Yeah. Let's just listen to a little bit more on this. Some of it will be repetitive, but I like hearing from different media sources, and then we'll move on.
Jeffrey Epstein files revealed new details of former Labor politician Peter Mandelson's ties to the convicted sex offender. Embroiled in the scandal is UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer himself, who admitted to having prior knowledge of Mandelson's links to Epstein when appointing him as UK ambassador to Washington in 2024. But Starmer claims he had no idea of the, quote, depth and darkness of it. Mandelson was removed from his post last year. Speaking earlier, the British leader apologized to Epstein's victims as more information comes to light.
I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him.
Wall Street Journal's UK correspondent Max Colchester speaks to Michelle Martin about the impact this scandal is having on British politics and beyond.
Thanks, Bianna. Max Colchester, thank you so much for talking with us.
Hi, good to be with you.
So you cover British politics and national security, and you've been following the sort of the fallout from the release of these documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender who took his own life a couple of years ago. A number of very high-profile individuals have been linked to him, although no one has been criminally charged as a result of it. Now, it's been known that the person, Andrew Mountbatten, formerly Prince Andrew, he was stripped of his royal titles. It's been known that Prince Andrew was connected to Jeffrey Epstein in some way. But in this latest release of documents, there's been additional fallout. Could you, as briefly as you can, tell us what that is and why this latest document release has caused a huge reaction in the UK?
Yeah, as you say, this is not a new scandal in the UK. It's been rolling for over a decade. But I think what the latest batch of files that the Justice Department released show really is something that was suspected but long denied, which is that Epstein, having been released from jail in 2009 for soliciting sex from minors, quickly then managed to get privileged access right to the top of two pillars of the British establishment, Buckingham Palace and Downing Street. And these latest batch of emails show that via Peter Mandelson, who at the time was the UK business secretary and a very famous figure on the left here, was intimately involved with Epstein, was sharing a lot of information with him. And also it shows how the then Prince Andrew was still very much a close friend of Epstein's at the time.
And this all occurred after it had been publicly known that Jeffrey Epstein had this, he was criminally charged. Yeah. He served time. Many people consider the time that he served to have been very light compared to the gravity of what he was accused of. But nevertheless, it was part of his record at that point. What are the specific allegations connected to Peter Mandelson, and why has this landed with such force in the UK?
So Peter Mandelson was a senior figure in the then Labour government back in 2009, 2010. And what this cache of emails shows is that Mandelson was forwarding market-sensitive information that he was receiving as a senior member of the British cabinet on to Epstein. And that this is information that could have been traded on. And so since these emails have come to light, British police have announced they are investigating Mandelson, and this is turning into an almighty crisis here.
Has Mr. Mandelson spoken about why he was forwarding this information to Jeffrey Epstein?
Mandelson has not addressed that allegation directly. He's previously expressed regret for being friends with Epstein and has previously said he had nothing to do with any of the sexual acts that Epstein allegedly conducted. But this is nonetheless a very serious allegation for him to face. It really does lay bare something that he long denied, which was that he had largely cut off ties with Epstein. And also, it's caused a lot of anger here amongst the Labour Party, which is now back in power, because Mandelson, up until last year, was the ambassador to the US for the UK and had been handpicked by the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, to take on that role. And Starmer says that before giving him the job, Mandelson was very clear that there were no, more skeletons in the cupboard when it came to Epstein.
And also the former Prince Andrew and his former wife, Sarah Ferguson, is also mentioned in this latest cache of documents. Is there new information about them? And is that also something that's disturbing to the British public?
Yeah, this very much confirms what many people already suspected about Prince Andrew. Now, again, he's not been found guilty of any crimes, and he denies all allegations against him. But what these emails, again, show is that he was very close to Epstein, and you can see him corresponding with Epstein, organizing visits to Buckingham Palace. There are photographs of him kneeling over a woman, presumably in Epstein's New York apartment or New York house. There are messages where he seems to be welcoming a Russian woman that Epstein suggested he meet in London. So all this just adds to the picture that people already had of him, that he was essentially corrupted by Epstein, that he was getting, he had essentially been corrupted by the promise of sex and money. And that is something that is very damaging for the Windsor franchise.
Yeah. So we're going to stop right there. Goes on a little bit more.
Could you imagine having some of these ugly old men coming in the room to a 13 or 14-year-old? That's scary.
Happening every day, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think this stuff has ever stopped just because Epstein's dead and these files are coming out. And it's not just in the United States, it's all over the world, as we've seen with the other countries stepping up.
It's lucrative and it was getting results, so why would you stop it?
Did I hear wrong, or didn't the Prime Minister in the first clip we played say he didn't know anything about what Mandelson was doing? If he had known, he would not have put him in that role. And then in the next clip, well, he lied, so they're just all liars.
They're all liars. And
he said he lied about the extent of which he was involved with.
And John was making a comment that he was gay, but they said some boys were involved in this too.
Yeah, I doubt it was all girls. Yeah. Makes you wonder.
Well,
you don't believe Epstein's dead? I've been hearing that lately. Interesting.
Elvis not dead.
Interesting. No, they say he's doing weddings in Vegas.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have to laugh.
I want to go back to Jazzy's previous comment. Yeah, I thought it was I think it was a couple comments ago. I truly don't believe all these people didn't know. I agree. I think Epstein was killed because he was a liability for everyone involved, and they all got comfortable thinking they never get exposed after his death. Yeah, I agree.
And once you get a taste for certain things and predilections, they don't just go away. And I don't see anybody getting any, better help.
I want all of them gone. I don't care if you say you didn't know. I don't care if you say you just had lunch with him one time. You don't remember why you had lunch with him. Fuck you. You fucking knew this guy was a piece of shit. You knew what he was doing. You knew who he associated with. You need to be gone. We need to clear all the junk out of the system. All of it gone. I don't care. If there's doubt that you are complicit, get out. Goodbye. There are better people who can take your position.
100%, Keisha.
Man.
So I don't know. It just seems to me, it feels like to me that this international element is going to be what really brings all this to light and brings
the international element is what brought the civil rights movement to a head. When they start seeing all these, atrocities that how they were treating their black people, they were like, wait a minute, whoa. And it was getting televised. And they was like, you got to stop it. And they seen it and they put pressure on them. And then they started thinking about the optics. And some stuff had to be, changes had to be made. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we can hope.
Other countries are more willing to hold people accountable while we sit here and do nothing looking stupid.
While demonizing other people as being the essaying people and stealing and killing and all that kind of stuff. You say about these people, but you need to start at home.
Starting the whole
Yeah.
QAnon conspiracy, and it's actually just a projection and a deflection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
May, your comment is right, because I think what we've talked about too is that this isn't new. This has been going on for decades through multiple administrations.
Oh yeah.
Multiple
For
administrations,
centuries.
Democrat
Yeah.
and Republican.
Yeah.
So that's where it is disgusting in every way.
Yeah.
Just because these are wealthy, powerful people.
If I could say something, I never know. What is the lady involved with all of this? Giselle? Because
Ghislaine?
Oh, Ghislaine.
I always get confused with her.
Ghislaine.
Oh, yeah. You know what's awful there? She's in a fancy prison. She's got all these, little puppy, she's got all the food, it's just disgusting. And and guess who's doing that? Why would we think the president is guilty? I mean, of course he is. He's right in the middle of it.
Well, she asked for clemency too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's go one
Yeah, I'm
further.
like-
How about all the individuals that are being taken into ICE, sleeping on the floor, no bathrooms, no medicine, but she gets ease out.
No charges.
Right.
They're not actually
Yeah,
convicted.
Guantanamo Part 2.
She actually has been convicted of something. They haven't been convicted of anything. And she gets better treatment than they do.
That's my point, Keisha.
Yeah, 100%.
I know mothers that lobby to get their children who are locked up, and rightfully so, but still, they're 300 miles away from them so they can see them more frequently. And they spend years trying to get them to move them closer to home so we can see more, and this and that. And then here she is, this super international, and 20 years is not enough for the things that she did.
No.
So let's put that back up. Madeleine McCann? I don't recall that case.
Yes, the little girl from Portugal that was stolen. Big case. And she had the UK parents, and they stayed there and they left them in the room. And then she was stolen from the room while they were on vacation.
And there's some reports with Ghislaine that she was even worse than Epstein.
Yeah.
I feel like when women do stuff like that, I don't know. It's something about the maternal part of whether you have children or not. It's just something less. It doesn't seem right. It seems incongruent, but
she's an international HO.
The former Deputy Prime Minister Gordon Brown warned Keir Starmer years ago.
She went all the way around the world looking for people to give to them. She should not be where she is. She should be and she should be dead too.
And all of this could have been stopped when? In 2008, right? When he got a sweetheart deal.
Well, I think of it, even if forgive me for getting, that's not off topic, but it kind of is. But think about Bernie Madoff and all the things and all the process he went and how he was ignored and they dropped the ball. They keep dropping balls all the time when it's important. And then when all of it comes up and blows up in everybody's face, the only people that suffer are the little people. And even if you're rich, nobody deserves to steal your money. And so now, all this is happening, and the government, in my opinion, is complicit. And the banks and all that, and they get these little fines and stuff, but it doesn't matter because they're corrupt and they're all in it together. And so the people who go to jail are usually the ones that they scapegoat, put it like that, instead of the ones who really should, and then they get away with it.
Yeah, like they said, the only person that is had any accountability for this is the woman.
The woman.
The woman.
Well, speaking of the banks, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but there's the idea that if we were to expose and punish all of the people involved with Epstein, that we would take down the entire system. I
Good. Believe that.
We would fine.
Bring it down.
Fine.
Bring it down.
Because we would get the rot out, and that money is not good money. That money is actually money that belongs to us, honestly. It belongs to the people. We need a better system. I don't want to uphold this shitty, dishonest, disgusting system.
The people that made this system knew eventually they were going to get caught, so they made it that it was harder for them to get screwed by them.
Absolutely.
Like, they knew somewhere way down the line this was all going
That's
to come to
because
light.
the truth always comes out. You know, you get people doing wrong against little children, and I mean, I can't. The stuff that I've heard that they done to them, I just it's unbelievable.
I know. I can't.
It's I've heard it's banks and real big banks, billionaires.
Well, it has to be the money. There's money involved in it.
That's why it's not out. And Donald Trump has the mark of the beast already. And then he got his wife from there too. He got his wife from there. He got his attorney general from there.
Every one of his wives was
Allegedly.
involved at some point with Epstein.
It shows the pictures of them meeting. That's what the story. Okay, allegedly.
We just have to say allegedly, but the pictures, we've seen the pictures. I agree.
And again, back to Bernie Madoff, when all that busted and they were going to take him to trial, they said, "Can you imagine the heads of state, the JP Morgan Chase and this and that? They have to come and testify." So what? They pee like we do. They get the gout like some people do. You die. You get your stub your toe. So what? Because you got a lot of money. You can go.
Yeah.
Like Keisha said.
I have a feeling we won't find all the truth until a lot of these people are dead and buried.
They won't even tell us about Kennedy, and he been dead. Them people been dead and buried for a minute.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Might be a few hanger-ons.
Yeah. So let's talk about where the pressure is building as well. It was interesting. I just kind of did hearings on Epstein, and Pam Bondi hearing devolves into a shouting match. Bondi testifies at House hearing facing tough questions. Ranking member Raskin opening statement, slamming attorney. Bondi to face criticism. Bondi faces grilling. I mean, this is like reality television. It's crazy, but I'm so glad that they're, holding her to some kind of account. So let's just hear a little bit. I'm not going to play a lot. I just picked a few clips from this.
The Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, and we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI. Now, my question is, why did it take Thomas Massey and me going to the Justice Department to get these 6 men's identities to become public? And if we found 6 men that they were hiding in 2 hours, imagine how many men they are covering up for in those 3 million files. But the story gets worse. The reality is that Donald Trump's FBI scrubbed these files in March, long before Thomas Massie and I passed the Epstein Transparency Act. Now, my bill is clear. The Epstein Transparency Act requires them to unredact those FBI files. And yet the Justice Department said to me and to Congressman Massie, we just uploaded whatever the FBI sent us. And guess what? The FBI sent scrubbed files. That means the survivor's statement to the FBI, naming rich and powerful men who went to Epstein's island, who went to his ranch, who went to his home and raped and abused underage girls or saw underage girls being paraded, they're all hidden. They're all redacted. It's a little bit of a farce. They're inviting all the members of Congress to go to see the Department of Justice, quote unquote, unredacted files, but they've got all redacted files from the FBI. And it's not the fault of the Justice Department attorneys. They were just told upload things that Donald Trump's FBI had already scrubbed. It's a blatant violation of the Epstein Transparency Act, but it also asks a fundamental question. Who are they protecting? Why are they protecting these rich and powerful men, people I call part of the Epstein class? Why are we in a country where there is no elite accountability for people who do the most heinous things? You have in England the king now calling for an investigation and possible prosecution of his own brother. You have in Norway the princess who no longer has support to be the queen. And yet in the United States of America, we have someone in the cabinet, Howard Lutnick, who is all over these Epstein files, who allegedly had business with Epstein after he was convicted of pedophilia, and he still is in the cabinet. We need to ask ourselves, are we in America going to have elite accountability? Are we going to call on rich and powerful people who broke the law or cavorted with a pedophile, a convicted pedophile? Are we going to call them to account? Are we going to have prosecutions for billionaires who went to this island and either raped underage girls or saw underage girls being raped and didn't say anything? Are we going to have investigations? I'll tell you what this is about. It's not just about the 1,200 survivors. It's about 2 tiers of justice in America. It's about people who can accumulate wealth and power and don't have to care about the rest of America. They have destroyed so much of this country. Income inequality is at a 60-year high. Workers' salaries are less than they have been for 75 years as a part of GDP. Somehow this country seems to be working for the rich and powerful, but it's not working for ordinary working class Americans. I say enough. It's time to begin with accountability for the Epstein class. Hold them in front of Congress, those people who visited the island or did business with Epstein after he was a convicted pedophile. Investigate them, prosecute them, and let's return to democratic accountability in the United States of America.
Woo! Can the church say amen?
Woohoo! He was, yep. Man. Just like you said, Ish.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Okay. The thing that makes me just like so angry about all of this is just the lack of empathy and human decency. Like so many of these men, these awful men, their parents, their fathers, their like aunts, uncles, how would they react if someone did this to their kids or someone that they know? And instead of like, and it just makes me so mad that all of these people just think that they can just get away with this and there's no consequences when so many of these people just don't understand how trauma works. They think that like these women all just want to pay out for this and crap like that. And it's like trauma doesn't work that way. It sits with you. It never goes away. It's like grief. You learn how to live with it. And it's
they've been getting away with it, so why would they think something would change?
and you live with it.
And Trump said that if what's her name, his daughter was not his daughter, he would date her. So that's not alleged. He said he would date her.
And I just like, I can't even imagine what these women go through, because like as a survivor myself, like you live through it, and then there's times where you have to repeat your story and you live through it again. And I can't even imagine how these women feel. They're just reliving it almost every day. And that's just what makes me so angry about it.
There's no empathy because these are the same people that would probably do it to their own children.
That's what I thought. And
Right.
Access Hollywood, we forgetting Access Hollywood. He said, I mean, Donald Trump said, I just walk up to him and grab him. And I just go up to him and I start kissing on him. He doesn't have respect for women.
I've been reading Nobody's Girl, which I can't read more than 1 or 2 pages every once in a while. But this is a young woman who was brave and wrote this book. And unfortunately, she committed suicide. And it's terrible what she went through, but she went through it with her father and her stepfather also. And nobody reached out to help her. Her mother, people who knew about it, and it just went ongoing for her. So she felt like she was escaping. And then this awful Epstein grabbed hold of her. She was very vulnerable. And she still kept on trying to work her life out. She had children. She married, went to Australia, and it just didn't leave her. And
you lay down and to go to sleep, and those are the memories you have. You know how when before you fall asleep, stuff go through your head.
And if you read the Sasha Riley, or you listen to the Sasha Riley tapes, he was allegedly, he was adopted for the purposes of trafficking. Like, and there's other people that did the same thing. Like, it's so.
To your question about why some men might not say anything, taking it a couple of steps above, have you ever talked to men who have watched their fellow men catcall a woman, and they don't say anything? They don't say anything to their friends about it, but they will tell you, "Oh, I didn't think that was cool. Why are you telling me that? Why didn't you tell that to your friend?" So I'm not surprised that some of these same men wouldn't say anything to their friend about sexually abusing someone, about their fucked up sexual predilections, because they can't even say something when they say something, when their fellow bro says something to a woman that is just inappropriate.
When they, to piggyback on that, I actually know someone who actually had a one of those brother-like relationships with someone, and the story goes a little bit like, basically they wanted to date somebody in their family, and when they wanted to date that person in their family, their relationship became volatile because now it was coming home to roost, and it was like, just basically womanizing, cheating, abusing, things like that. And so they lost all that. And that's what I've asked men, do you know anybody has SA'd anyone, or that say, and they're like, no, I don't know anybody. I said, well, somebody's got to, because there's too much of it going on. So maybe you need to check yourself. I think there's a lot of things, because I hear people say stuff and I'm like, that's not appropriate, but they just kind of, that's just how he is. He likes them young, something like that.
And why couldn't Pam Bondi turn around today and apologize?
Oh, please.
I don't even know why you asked that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I was screaming.
I didn't mean to say it like that, but
she doesn't care.
Let's yeah, there's the other thing that as a survivor of molestation, and
but they brought
luckily
up
I was not
names.
assaulted, but a lot of times you don't have the support of people who believe you, but also sometimes you have people who blame you, and that is one of the most heartbreaking things to have to deal with.
Especially when it's people you think you trust and you thought you felt safe with, when you then get told, well, no, that didn't really happen, or they were just a little quirky.
Yeah. So let's just watch little snippets of some of these clips from the hearings. Some of them are, I'm not going to go through every one of them, all of them, but we'll.
Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for being here today. I'm going to show you two photos.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you two photos of former Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. Under the law Congress passed, you were allowed to redact photos to protect the victims of Epstein's sex trafficking operation. You redacted the photos of this victim's face because you were following the congressional law. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, that we redacted the victim's
Because you were
face?
following the congressional law, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have now established that please put the photos back up, that we are looking at a sex trafficking victim. Under the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find it absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients like former Prince Andrew. Last July, you closed the case on Epstein's abusers. The July 2025 memo from your Department of Justice stated, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." These two photos, please put the photos back up. These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew. So I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland these questions when he was Attorney General and set before.
I agree with you.
You twice.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Never
I agree with you. I agree with you. During
Were
the
you not here
during the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr, as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures. But you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that,
Trump.
though?
I want to move on to another
Can I answer
question.
your question about protecting?
You answered the
Prince
question.
No, you
You're
cannot
saying no.
answer.
I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files, like former Prince. Here's a video. Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to.
You're
deflect
ridiculous.
From all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence.
Can we
that
please
Donald
turn
Trump
her
has
off?
committed a
Can we
crime.
please turn
Everyone
her
knows
off?
that. This has been
Yeah.
the most transparent presidency.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I
They're
can't
not-
take her anymore. Oh,
They're nothing
let's,
but robots.
Yeah. Let's do a palate, not a, well, this is a palate cleanse because it's Jasmine Crockett, and I love how she goes for it.
Pam Bondi's was at the
We won't
bottom.
have to listen to Pam in this one.
While we wait for Pam Bondi, please like and subscribe, and also put your comments up. Thank you.
Thank you, August.
Scrubbed from its website in September.
Without objection, the gentlelady from
Thank
Texas
you.
is recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And to be clear, I'm not going to ask any questions of this witness because this witness has revealed that she has no intentions of answering questions. But instead, I'm going to ask some very basic questions really quickly of my colleague, Becca Ballant, if she will answer right or wrong, raping children.
Wrong.
Right or wrong, killing random citizens.
Definitely wrong.
Right or wrong, enriching yourself as the sitting president of the United States.
Definitely wrong.
Okay, thank you, because I probably never would have got that with our witness. Our witness who somehow is a lawyer but does not understand how it works with witnesses. I'm not really sure what law school she went to and what all kind of cases she tried, but typically when you come into a space and somebody's a witness, then they sit there and they answer questions. instead of asking questions. And then we also have this objection that we use as lawyers called non-responsive, when a witness fails to actually answer the question. But nevertheless, let me address the survivors, because that's exactly who they are. They are not victims, they are survivors. Let me say thank you for having more courage and moral clarity in your pinky fingers than the entire Department of Justice. We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ, as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world. But we don't know the basics of right and wrong in this country, because it's not about partisanship. And that's why I applaud Thomas Massie, because he's the only person on the Republican side that has a backbone and knows how to stand up to corruption. But nevertheless, let me keep going. My Democratic colleagues have been attacked this entire committee hearing. They have been lied on. And frankly, the American people weren't looking for that. They were looking for answers about the corruption that they see coming from this administration. In the written testimony of this witness, of this particular witness, she stated that when she took office, she had two main goals. The first was to end the weaponization of justice, and second, to return the department to its core mission. Not only have you lied about both, you've intentionally done the exact opposite. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps. In fact, your boss, the President of the United States, stated that this administration, quote, took the freedom of speech away. And at your direction, DOJ has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Fort. And I might add that y'all actually had a judge that rejected y'all for trying to arrest Don Lemon before, just like the grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Kelly, just like a grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Slotkin, just like the case against Tish James was dismissed and the case against Mr. Comey was dismissed. I completely don't get how it is that you're sitting at the top of DOJ, because you don't seem to be good at your job. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting these journalists. In fact, we know after Georgia Fort and Don Lemon were arrested, we know that there were homes of journalists that were raided. We know that threatened prosecution against students protesting your actions and forced tech companies to remove apps used to track ISIS activities. But let's circle back to you protecting pedophiles and creeps, because I want to talk about the president and his possible involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know what the president might have done with Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike this administration, I believe that facts matter. So let's talk about the facts. Fact number one, Donald Trump is one of the most named people in the Epstein files. At least 5,000 files contains more than 38,000 references to Trump, his wife, or Mar-a-Lago. Fact number two, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell made young girls available to Trump on multiple occasions. For example, according to this file, Ghislaine Maxwell presented a young girl to President Trump who spent more than 20 minutes apparently flirting with her. Here's another example. This shows notes from FBI investigators that describe Jeffrey Epstein transporting a victim to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump, where he bragged to Trump that, quote, this is a good one. Now, I'm not saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these files that suggests that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles. What's crazy about all of this is just that this is a big cover-up. And this administration is engaged in it. In fact, this administration is complicit. But there are numerous others, like how the DOJ is attempting to obstruct justice in the investigation of the rogue agents who have murdered American citizens, or how the DOJ seized voter data from Fulton County in an attempt to steal the 2026 midterm elections, or how federal agents have Tom Homan on tape accepting a bribe and your agency killed the investigation, or how your agency is ready to give the president a $230 million payday, which is unconstitutional. The Constitution is clear. The president shall not receive any payment except his salary while in office. The fact of the matter is that you will be remembered as one of the worst attorney generals in history, an attorney general who has prioritized obstruction over justice, corruption over the law, fealty to the president over loyalty to the Constitution. And Mr. Chairman, I will yield.
She said what she said.
I love her.
Dang.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want to say, do she want what she want for dessert?
Mm-hmm.
Because she ate her for lunch and dinner.
She is so good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Just holy moly. I just have one more short one. And then And then we'll have one more brief conversation if anybody else wants somebody to share, and then we'll go on to August on the move. Whoops. Let me bring it to the stage first.
Of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce. Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude that the president, in fact, did know about his ties because he was the next door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic. This
beautiful
is
state.
pathetic, Mr.
Will be in
Chair.
order.
I am not asking trick questions here. The
You got your
American
5
people
minutes.
have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell. By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions? And I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this. Do the right thing, Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
May I have 20 seconds of his time?
So that'd be up to the gentleman, but
Absolutely, Madam.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
I'm curious if you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton
Wait.
that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once. When he was, and also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh,
Is Jewish. I just want to be clear.
Listen.
Go there, Attorney General.
Yeah.
Or do you want to go there? Are you
belongs to the
serious?
gentleman
Talking
from
about
South
anti-Semitism
Carolina.
to a woman who
Lady
lost her grandfather in the Holocaust?
my time. I reclaim my time.
Really?
The committee will be in order.
Talk to Jared Wise about anti-Semitism.
Really? Yeah, really? She went there. You really want to go there?
Oh my God.
Good for her.
Yeah. I wanted
They took
everybody
their
to
earrings
get
off and greased up.
to that bullshit. Yeah. This is this is what's happening in our government right now. These are the conversations.
She is playing around, and it's disrespectful.
We showed this before we went on air, but this is how she acts. Extremely arrogant. So this says you can joke about Pam Bondi's. August, we'll go back to Jessie's comment in just a second. I want to read.
I'm trying to take it off.
Oh, thank you, dear. So you can joke about Pam Bondi's ridiculous unprofessionalism all you want, but I'm deeply shocked by it. She acts as if she fears absolutely no consequences, convinced that there will be no more political power transfers. This should shake everyone to their core. And I concur, right? That's how they act. That's how they all act.
On a lighter note, this bitch got owned, and between Lou, Crockett, and Raskin, they were dropping lines that remind me of like the best Real Housewives disses that I've seen. I was watching these clips.
I'm going back and rewatch it.
This is beautiful.
I'm gonna be like this.
They were good. They were good. Yeah.
It's really sad that this is where we are. Can we go back to just boring government? I just want boring government.
Like, who's the transportation did what?
Exactly.
I would like boring government, but if this is what has to happen to Trump and his cabinet, this is the kind of stuff I want to see.
It has to
Oh,
be known.
absolutely. I don't disagree with that. I want
Mhm.
all of them gone so we don't have to have a government that's performative.
At least I was able to sleep with Biden.
I just want to
Really? Tell us about that, Andrea.
Do I hear that right?
Really? Allegedly?
Allegedly.
How'd that happen, Andrea?
Joe said, I don't know, but we beat Medicare.
I think the thing that pissed me off the most about Bondi was like she would get just like Jekyll and Hyde and like get so angry, and it's like, do you really think you're looking strong right now? Because you're just looking like a whiny child.
The Dow is
Do you really? It's like, do you really think?
No, the
any of
last
us
time when she
give a
said,
shit about
I'm
that?
not a liar. How dare you? Shame on
You're
you.
not even a liar.
I think the saddest thing about her is that a woman, she's allowed herself to be owned, bought and paid for, doesn't have a critical thought of her own, is just a puppet.
She's
you
a
know?
weak little bitch, is what
But
she
she
is.
was at the parties. She was there too.
She was 13 years old in that one photo.
Yeah, so she's not credible either.
Wait, what? She was 13.
She's known Trump since I'm not saying they were abusing her, but she was.
Oh yeah, she was just there.
I didn't know that part.
No, but
there are pictures of her very young.
Yeah.
At Epstein parties. She's just a weak little bitch.
That's what I'm saying. So she don't know what to say.
Yeah.
She still think
knows exactly what to say. It's
Trump is
scripted.
her
She
leader.
knows what she's doing. It's scripted.
Yeah.
Scripted
She's
now. She
knowing
doesn't know
It's
what
not,
to
it's
do.
not a mistake. It's not off the cuff. It's all scripted. She's a weak little bitch.
Yep.
That's right.
You can't expect no one to haven't been in it. You're right.
She don't know how to act. She doesn't. That position was given to her.
You don't have to act no way when you got free reign and there's no consequences.
You got an
Consequences.
alcoholic that leaves the military. Everybody is a joke.
Yeah. Well, more to come on all this because these stories never end. So I am going to now turn it over to August on the Move.
Well, you guys really expect August to follow that? You guys were heated. It was like on fire. And now you want me to report. But here we have it. In other news, we do have things that we need to really highlight. And once this come up, we can get this started. Did you know that body cam video and text revealed detained Border Patrol agents shooting of Chicago woman? I wanted to highlight this story because it has happened, and let's hear about it.
The woman who was Chicago late last year has announced a lawsuit after new evidence was released in her case. The woman and her lawyers allege that federal officials smeared her character, and they say she is now able to share evidence that corroborates her innocence.
Now, that evidence includes body camera footage and text messages, including one that was sent from the agent just an hour after the October shooting, revealing his perspective on how it unfolded. All of this comes as a new NBC News Decision Desk poll shows the majority of U.S. adults say immigration agents' tactics have gone too far. NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley joins us now from D.C. Julia, what else was included in this newly released evidence? I mean, and how are federal officials responding to that and this woman's lawsuit?
Well, we're out to DHS for comment right now, and I'll let you know what we hear from them. But as far as the lawsuit goes, they're zeroing in on two things that have been revealed since this body camera footage is put forward. And we should say that the agent who actually fired the shots, he didn't have the body camera, but those in the car did. And what we hear is one of the agents say on their way to this scene that turns into this shooting was, it's time to get aggressive. Remember, this is October in Chicago. Miramar Martinez is a 30-year-old who was on her way to drop off clothes at a nearby donation site when she decided to start following Border Patrol. This is at the height of Border Patrol's crackdown in Chicago, and she and many others were trying to follow them, really to intimidate them and keep them out of making these arrests in Chicago that they thought were going too far. Then the other thing her lawyers are zooming in on is the fact that the Tahoe steering wheel of the agent tends to steer toward her. Previously, DHS said that she rammed their car. They're now accusing the U.S. government of an aggressive smear campaign against her character, and they just held a press conference. Take a listen.
You guys have now all seen the video, so you know that she didn't ram them, that they rammed her or sideswiped her. The U.S. Attorney's Office knew this from the beginning. ICE knew this from the beginning, yet they continue as recently as yesterday to put out press statements saying that Miramar rammed them.
So the U.S. government previously dropped all charges against Miramar Martinez, and now Martinez is turning this into a civil lawsuit against the government for their response and for what they say she did, but she's arguing she did not block them in with her vehicle.
So, guys, talk back to me. What say you?
I love it.
You're happy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody's
I hope
finally
everybody.
fighting back.
She has every right to sue them back.
It'll expose some things and they can't deny it.
Yep. Yep. I'm glad.
To go through that.
Right. She made it through, thank God.
Yeah.
It's the only thing Trump understands, right? Is lawsuits.
A lawsuit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
Exactly. Speak his language.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
also in the news, I want to definitely share with you that in Canada, the shooting that has been brought to our attention. Let's hear real quickly the update if you're not aware of it. Let me know.
No sound.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in.
Okay.
It doesn't want to play. So I'll just go ahead and read it to you and let you know what's going on with this story. So what is happening is that, there we go. That's not what I want. All right. That's not happening. So that story, it was definitely 8 killed and a dozen wounded. And it was a young lady that took the lives of these young kids in British Columbia. Not only did she take her family's life, but she also took students and teachers. So I'll give you more in depth the next time on Friday. I'll definitely make sure I have that video ready for you and it's queued up. Because for some of the reason, it's not trying to play for me. But also in the news, that I want to make sure that everybody is aware of, that it is Black History Month. And let me just give you the latest. So in the news, don't forget that we had, is it showing?
No.
Wow, it's not coming up. One moment. Not sure. Okay, back over to you, Kim.
Well,
Go ahead, Anitra.
I was just saying, well, everything's not gonna work when you want it to. That's how it is out here in showbiz. Now, anyway, but no,
Yeah.
seriously, looking at what you were talking about and those things, I'm so glad that woman is doing what she's doing. We all have to fight back and resist in our own ways, and she's putting herself out there because they're so vindictive and petty. So I wish her well, and I think this whole I can't get it out of my mouth now, so never mind. Tired.
No, I hope they all sue. I hope, people who've died at their hands sue their pants off,
And the United States ought to be shamed influencing all these people to kill people like that. I know the child is the girl is the one that killed those people, but we do it the most. And we set the example again, and I feel like we are contaminating other people, giving them ideas, but I guess we're all in charge of our own, outcomes. But I think it's just sad because Canada doesn't have that happen very often.
And I think it's sad that Donald Trump is the one that's been responsible for Barack Obama from the very beginning, from that his birth certificate, and then up till today, always, one thing money can't buy is class. And Donald Trump does not have any class.
Nope. Or a heart.
Or soul.
Yeah. Or soul.
You need to go down the yellow brick road.
All right, before we wrap tonight, anybody else have anything? I have just one announcement before we sign off. Anybody?
I think just my biggest thing is this is a lot for a lot of us right now. So pace yourselves and take care of your mental health, because that's more important than listening to all this theatrics and just torturing yourself. Figure out your limits and take care of yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Katie. So before we wrap tonight, we just wanted to share something kind of exciting. So we have officially launched channel memberships. So if you value what we're doing, which is independent civic media, we're activists, we're standing for democracy, we're trying to highlight and show you the truth of what's out there. So again, if you value our work, memberships are one way that you can support us. So there's 2 different levels support, and they're really, really cheap. Supporters get access to select pre-recorded videos, members only posts, fun emojis, etc. Obviously, it doesn't change our commitment just to keep doing what we're doing. Any support and you just being here is just a huge support for us. But if you're inclined, if you feel like you'd like to support us further, the join button is down below, and we just so appreciate you. So everyone who's been in the chat tonight, thank you. We appreciate your presence, your comments, the conversation. We couldn't do this without you. So thank you, Jazzy. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Yay. Oh, we need our yay. Okay, everybody, we went over time again. It was an important conversation. It was a good one, and I just hope that this is the pressure that is building that's going to crack this thing wide open, and we'll get through it. All right, everybody, have a wonderful night, and we will see you on Friday for Voices from the Edge. Yeah, join us at the table on Friday.
Millennial Gays tomorrow.
Yay. Yep. What time, Katie?
7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific.
Perfect. Yep. Join. It's a great show. Katie and May do a wonderful job. So you'll learn and laugh and have a good time. All right,
keep
guys.
it real.
They keep it real. That's for sure. All right, everybody. We'll see you Friday.
We the people unite.